Hello and welcome. Through the centuries, Good Friday has been marked with the retelling of Jesus' betrayal, arrest and death. In towns and cities across the world, people come together to share the story of his suffering that we call the Passion. And in the next hour, thousands of people here in the city of Preston, Lancashire, will watch a mass spectacle of music and drama, retelling the Passion for the modern day. We'll delve into the past and present of Preston in 3 new powerful pieces of original BBC drama reflecting the timeless themes of the Passion story and how they connect with us. In Victorian times, the mayor must decide the fate of a radical leader. In the First World War, the power of a mother's response to loss.
You're going to be all right, though.
And in 2012, we explore a moving reminder of modern-day self-sacrifice. This Good Friday, hundreds of local people will create the symbols of its story, the crown of thorns and later the cross, in a mass spectacle quite unlike anything you'll have ever seen before, in this, the Preston Passion. Preston has had a Guild year, which is a chance to show off its achievements, since the 12th century, and it's held every 20 years. 2012, this year, is one of them, and the year is just getting underway. Preston's lifeblood was once the cotton industry. The mills brought workers from overseas, and that led to modern-day Preston becoming a diverse, multi-faith city, and one proud to keep as the city's emblem the Lamb of God. Which is a good place then for people of all faiths and none to come together to understand more about the meaning of Jesus on the cross, wearing his crown of thorns. Lamb of God, the green and pleasant land, and the dark satanic mills. But what else connects people here to the Good Friday story? The Bible recounts how in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago Jesus was arrested, brought before the religious authorities, and then handed to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate, who would decide his fate. Before condemning Jesus to death, Pilate is presented as dithering in the face of an unpredictable crowd, and afterwards washing his hands of the decision. Some on the streets had called Jesus King of the Jews, prompting the soldiers to mock him, forcing him to wear the crown of thorns as he faced his fate. In the 1840s, the mayor of Preston faced a strikingly similar dilemma. Here, mill workers were causing civil unrest, striking over pay. There was a radical leader, an angry crowd, and an authority figure needing literally to read the Riot Act. I should warn you that what we're about to see, like the Passion story itself, is brutal from the very start, and at stake are matters of life and death.
Sam, wake up.
What? Oh, what is it?
You've good grounds for disturbing me at this hour.
I believe I do, sir. We're looking for Cleesby. We found him.
Are you sure this is the address?
Please, Sam. I have nothing to do with it. You promised me.
Here's your warrant, Mr. Dodds. Make it quick and quiet.
We're looking for Cleesby. George Cleesby.
I am he.
Have you nothing to say? Take him below.
The pains contained in the Act, made in the first...
Bishop, I've read in the Riot Act. To what end, God knows. Will you stop fussing? Give them half an hour to disperse, Captain Campbell.
Out. Where is he?
Below. Had him arrested on your counsel. Now this, still bleeding.
Let me see. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, my boy. The Lord delivereth him out of them all. Psalm 34. Carbolic and warm water.
I had a dream. That man you're looking for?
Tilt your head a little more. Oh, sorry. No, but keep still. Good. So, what do we know about him?
He's not from these parts, by all accounts.
And what has he to say for himself? Keep pressing there.
Nothing. He wouldn't speak to me. I tried.
He speaks to them. 3,000 in the marketplace the other day. Plenty to say for himself. When it suits him, I suppose. Why didn't you arrest him then?
The man is allowed to go into the marketplace, I believe.
Is he allowed to preach sedition there?
Sedition? Pay and food, that's all this is about.
No, Mr. Mayor. With respect, that is not what all this is about. The social order in our great country is patterned on God's divine providence, and to upset that order, which is what they want, is to fly in the face of God. There. Samuel, remember, you are a mill owner, and your father was a mill owner before you.
And what has that to do with it?
Gratitude. They should be grateful. Your family brought prosperity into this town. Now, your order books are bare. You can't buy raw cotton for love nor money, and it's the same for the other mills.
We are, all of us, at the mercy of
God.
the markets. It's just that they can't feed their children.
And I'm very sorry. But the poor will never cease from the land. Deuteronomy 15:11.
Bishop, are you hurt?
This is revolution. Captain Campbell.
No.
Captain.
No.
You can suppress this unrest. You have him. Now, deal with him.
Put it round his shoulders, Jack. That's it. Give us your stick. Now, put your hat on his head. Now then, would you look at that? Ever so. A proper gent. Hey, show a little respect. Your Highness.
Release him.
What? I've just had him arrested.
Let him go among his people and stir them up. Then, you have no choice but to act.
To maintain order.
Precisely.
By whatever means at my disposal.
72nd Highlanders are at your disposal.
Very well. But on this condition. The choice is his. He either bows to reason and flees the city, or bears his breast for the bullet. Do you agree?
Choice is yours, Mr. Mayor.
No. No. It's his.
Bring up the prisoner!
Waiting in the yard. Then he will take you wherever you wish to go. You You must first give me your word that you will never return, and you will desist from speaking in public. Do you understand? Now I warn you, if you do not take this money, there is no help for you.
So you tyrants of proud Preston, your race is nearly run, and you will have to answer to for all you've said and done. You may go to church or chapels, your tyranny to hide, but there can be
Captain
no religion where such men as you preside.
Release him!
Tyrants of proud Preston, your race is nearly run, and you will have to answer to for all you've said and done. You go to church or chapels, your tyranny to hide, but there can be no religion.
I've nothing to do with it. You promised me.
You have him. Now, deal with him.
About the half an hour, Captain Campbell.
Sam, wake up.
What?
I had a dream. That man you're looking for. Oh, please, Sam. I've nothing to do with it. You promised me.
It was his decision. It was nothing to do with me.
The story of the crucifixion is called the Passion from the Latin word for suffering. The cross of Jesus is the universally recognised symbol of the event from which Christianity was born, a movement founded on the belief that Jesus' self-sacrifice was an act that brought hope to all those who survived him. That first Good Friday, his followers lost their leader and his mother lost a son. And such loss resonates here in Preston, where during the First World War, the railway station was a mustering point for young men from Scotland and the north of England being sent to fight in the trenches. The women of Preston set up a free refreshment room for the troops. By the end of the war, they'd served hot tea and food to more than 3 million men. And that story was discovered through letters like this one sent home from the front, and also through this, a hymn book given to a local soldier, and it has been pierced by a bullet.
To Reverend Thomas Cookson, stop. 3 lads from our parish in recent engagement, stop. All known to us, stop. Cummings, stop. Cleesby, stop. Melling, stop. Returning on leave, so we'll bring word personally. Stop. Least I can do. Stop.
Dearest Mother, a few lines in reply to your letter which I received last week.
Dear Mother, thanks for yours. I'm glad Jenny's on the mend.
Dear Ma, we've advanced 3 miles in the last month, and now we have to speak in whisper, the enemy is so close.
I'll just get wait on the platform, shall I? I'll wait on the platform.
Not long now.
You want now? One way or t'other.
Let's see to those sandwiches.
Send my love to Dad. As soon as I get back, we'll go and see North End lose again. You see looks on your mates' faces you don't see back home. It's a blindfold look.
Say hello to Dolly Farmer for me. I've been thinking a lot about her. She's a sweet girl, Mum. I think you'd like her if you got to know her.
We're getting quite settled here, and I'm getting used to the booming of Fritz's guns. I expect there'll be cowslips on the path across from the church.
Why couldn't they have just sent another telegram? That's what I'd like to know.
It's Joe Cotton's boy. He's captain now and he wanted to. Well, you know, it's more personal like.
Good of him to make the effort.
At least the waiting will be over.
Better knowing than not.
Well, that depends, doesn't it?
If it's him, if it's my Joseph, then I'd be proud. He's done his bit for king and country. He calleth his sheep by name, and if he's been called, then it's God's will.
Well, I know our Alf's all right.
How do you know?
That Terry, the butcher's delivery boy, he's got a brother at the front. And his brother writes home and says how he saw our Alf one day after the push.
I'll go and fetch some more crockery, shall I?
It's just next door. Ask Mrs. Carver to show you. Now see what you've done. Selfish, that's what you are. Selfish to the core. Always thinking of yourself.
I was just saying.
Well, don't. Can't you see if your Alf's all right, then
Tom, isn't it? You a boy.
Thomas,
You haven't said naught about him.
what's there to say? He's my son and I love him. I just wish he was at home now.
Mr. Melling, no.
He wanted to come with me to meet the train, but I didn't want that. I told him it were tomorrow.
Why ever would you do that?
I don't know. I just knew I didn't want him here. For his sake. And mine. What about you?
Willie's been dead these 7 years, and I'll start to the little ones. Have you talked to your Reg about it?
Of course I have.
What did he say?
What he always says, nothing. Wouldn't know a bee from a bull's foot, that one.
Well, he must have said something.
Must he?
He was talking about your Joseph the other day in the 4L bar, and he dotes on that boy.
Why don't you just keep your nose out?
Very sorry, I'm sure. Here. Run it under the sink, come on. There's lint in the cupboard, Mrs. Cleesby, and iodine.
Sorry, I'm such a nuisance.
Here, pass it here. Will you see to the rest of the sandwiches?
Do you know what I miss most? Apart from you, of course, Mother. Wearing pyjamas. Does that sound silly? And a few hot baths are in order. I'm scared, Mum. There are men dying all around me. I'm scared.
Thanks.
Do me a favour, Ma. Ask Dad if he remembers wind in his face coming down Lupton Hill on his back. I think about those days a lot. I remember we used to walk on crag in Rainbow. It weren't as cold as this.
I wish you could see me in me tin hat and gas mask, Mum.
Gas! Gas!
You'd all have a good laugh. When I'm marching, it jiggles all over its shop. I've a job to keep the thing from falling off.
Have you talked to him yet? Who? Reverend Coxon. Well, what did he say?
I have to put my trust in God.
Aye. Yeah, he said the same thing to me. And I warrant he said the same thing to Betty and all. Now, the way I figure it, God's got to let one of us down.
I don't see it that way.
No.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter.
I want to say something. How are we going to...
How do you mean?
When we know who it is.
Well, there's biscuits in the Powell's tin and...
What are we going to do? You know what I ask myself? I keep thinking, is this why I brought him into the world? Such pain. I remember the pains. But it was nothing, nothing like this. Is this why I nursed him at my breast, why I picked him up and wiped away his tears when he fell? So that he could be taken from me and thrown to the German guns. And for what?
Mrs. Melling.
You talk about duty and honour and glory. All of those things. Men's words.
Would you like to join me in a short prayer? Almighty and everlasting Father, by whose grace thy servants are enabled...
No need to look out for me, Mum. You'll hear me whistling from halfway down Blackpool Road. I'll have to close now, as I haven't really much more to say just at present. Hoping you are well. Your loving son, Alf.
shelling is about the worst I've known. And the crying of the wounded and the dying, such as I'll never forget. God bless you, Mum. I'll close now and pray that this is not the last letter I ever send to you. Your loving son, Joe.
Queerest thing. Last night I heard a nightingale sing. I thought I were dreaming, but others heard it too. It must have got lost. And now it lives in this place. Send my love to Dad. I embrace you both. Thomas.
He was out with the working party in No Man's Land when... I'm sorry. Some of the lads went back the next night to bury him and put up a cross. It's just a rough thing, really. Not where he is. This is his... He was shot in the side. Bullet pierced the prayer book. And his heart.
You don't have to carry on, Mary. You should go home to your husband. And mourn your son.
You don't understand. These are all my sons.
Many people have known the grief that comes from losing someone close. Personal loss that mirrors the loss those close to Jesus felt that first Good Friday. We're about to see the first of a number of letters people of the city wish they had sent to someone close that they've lost. Christian tradition has for centuries depicted the Easter story in the Stations of the Cross. These number the stages of the Passion. The first is Christ's condemnation, continuing with him carrying the cross, falling 3 times, being mocked and abused by some, and being helped by others. And then finally, number 12 is the ultimate act of self-sacrifice, his crucifixion, an act which has become an inspiration to others ever since. But what echoes of self-sacrifice can we find in a city like this today?
Rubbish at them. Come and show him how it's done. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, modern? Boring. What'd you do? English. Maths, which was boring. doing? Are there any food in here? Oh. Do you want them? Jump for them? Yeah, go get them.
Oops. Sorry, Bella.
Bye-bye.
Great. Come on through. I've cooked your favourite. There we are. Oh, is that for me? Yeah. Oh, thanks. You know that new phone you've been going on about? Let's make it an early birthday present, shall we?
all right, Bella? Bella, give it a hand. Here. Get in the other bag. How's your mum? You all right? That's so. Hey, love, I'm gonna have to go now. Here you are. You're gonna be all right, love. Yeah?
How'd you do that? Here. My mum says if you need a place to stay for a while, like, you know.
Ladies, female in distress, here, and use this.
Hey, don't take on.
What's crafters? Ta-da! Yes!
I made it for you. Here, it's an Easter garland. That's what Mrs. Cummins says. It can be a crown. Hansel and Gretel search for the breadcrumbs, but the birds have eaten them. They are lost in the forest. They see a house made of gingerbread and sweets. Hello, children. An old lady stands in the doorway. Come in, she says. No matter what you do, Mum, I'll always love you. I love you, Mum.
The photographs you can see represent tributes by people here to someone who's made a sacrifice for them. Others have brought pictures representing someone for whom they would make a sacrifice.
My Lord, were
Jesus' suffering and death on the cross on a hill above Jerusalem 2,000 years ago is the story at the heart of Christianity, retold generation after generation. Self-sacrifice and loss, love and hope, themes that you could find in any town or city and which we've seen echoed in the lives of people here. For Christians, this time of year marks not an end, but a beginning. And that becomes clear on Easter Sunday, when the story of the resurrection gives a cause for celebration. And it's that upbeat side of this story that we turn to now in the uplifting words about to be sung live by Jumelia and celebrated by everyone here, and I hope at home too. Through the centuries, Christians everywhere have put it like this: God so loved the world that he gave us his only Son.
Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. I know I can count on you. Sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care. You got the love I need to see me through. Sometimes it seems the road is just too tough. Things go wrong no matter what I do. And now and then it seems life is just too much. But you got the love I need to see me through. When food is gone, you are my daily meal. Oh yeah. When friends are gone, I know my Savior's love is real. You know it's real. Yeah, you got the love. You got the love. Yeah, you got the love. Yeah, you got the love. You got the love. Yeah, you got the love. Time after time I think, Lord, oh, what's the use? Time after time I think it's just no good. Sooner or later in life, the things you love you lose. But you got the love I need to see me through. You got the love, yeah. Oh, you got the love, yeah. You got the love, you got the love, yeah. You